back to Swoop's World. If you want to give us a call, 917-889-7449. Join us in the chat line. You can always reach us on Facebook and Twitter. And welcome back to the show. I'd like to welcome you to Kimm Garner. Hi, Kimm. How you doing, man?
Good. How are you guys doing tonight?
We're doing great, man. And we got a good level on them.
We're sounding good.
Well, let's. We usually start off the show with basically tell us how you ended up in Long Beach and how you got started with Channel 3. I know a little bit about it, but let's let the people know. Where did it all begin?
Where did it all begin? Well, you know, not too far away. We started out in Cerritos. You know, that's where Keith, you and I were working right outside of Cerritos in Hawaiian Gardens together.
Yeah.
So, no, it really started out in the early 1980s, and Mike McGran and I started the band. We've been best buddies since second grade. Went to grade school together. His mom's like my second mom. So we started out, played in his garage when we were going to college. We went to Long Beach State. So all the roads led to Long Beach. So, and Keith, I know you from when we worked at Alpha Beta together.
Yeah.
Quite a couple months ago.
Yes.
I think I was a box boy at the time when I was going to college and going to Long Beach State in my freshman year.
Yeah, and I think I had just promoted because you started at the new store, huh? Because I started right across the street where it was the.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, I just promoted to cashier.
Exactly. And really those were great times because going to college and, you know, working and the band was just really starting to form at that point. So I know we used to talk about music all the time and all the music we listened to. And
yeah.
I tell you, man, music's so important.
And it really is. And when you, yeah, I love the Channel 3 story and the website, man. Because I always say, you know, like we had a guy that a couple weeks ago was here, Eddie Cohn, and he brought his drummer, and I, you know, I asked him, well, do we even need to learn his name because drummers don't hang around very long, right? And you guys got you know, perfecting the sublime art of kicking out drummers. So that's
yeah. No, our buddy Alf that's been playing with us now, he's been with us for probably 18 years.
Yeah.
So I think as we've gotten older, you know, we've landed on somebody that can tolerate us too.
I have a whole theory about drummers because I've known a few of them along the way. And they're
easy now. I was a drummer for.
You're not a true drummer.
Short time.
Drummers are odd. They're odd in the way that like mathematicians are odd. You know, like they just.
Well, my dad's a mathematician, so.
But you know exactly what I'm saying. They just not that they're not nice people, and not that they're not very competent at whatever it is they might do. But they're always just socially just a little bit off. That's been my experience for the 2 or 3 drummers I have known.
I think that
and
I think you got a point there.
Them getting kicked out of a band doesn't surprise me.
At times can be a little socially awkward.
Exactly.
Yeah. We really started out at Cerritos High School. You know,
okay.
We started out at Cerritos High School, and Mike and I were both really involved in school, and we're good students. But on the other side, we really liked, you know, music and subversive music and listening to all the things that were kind of left field. So really it was really when K-Rock was in the early years of K-Rock when Rodney and the Rock was on.
Right.
You know, and we've gotten to know Rodney. Rodney's a friend of ours, and Rodney was playing strange things back in the late 70s, you know, playing The Clash and Pretenders and the Sex Pistols, and just, you know, you'd hear Rock Lobster by the B-52s, and you're like, you're like, what's that freaky music, you know? And I remember on Saturday nights we would sit around and listen to Rodney's show because he played the coolest stuff. So this was like when we were still in high school, and it was at the time we were like, you know, I want to learn how to play guitar. And really, what happens is that, you know, when you're a kid, unless you can lock yourself in the bedroom and learn how to play like Jimmy Page or, you know, or whatever it might be, you know, and the reality is not many people can get there.
Right.
So what happened is when the Ramones came along and the Clash and all the other bands that we liked, we realized we saw some friends of ours in Cerritos play, and we were like, they were really horrible, and we were like, fuck, if they can do it, I can do it. You know?
We can do that.
Yeah, I can do it. I can do it better. You know. So no, the friends of ours played with the Germs at the time. They were a band called Der Stop from Cerritos, and we, you know, you went to the show, and they're still friends of ours. And we said we were annoyed when we first went in, and by the time they got done, we were like completely energized and like, we're gonna do this.
Yeah.
So that was after we got out of high school. It was like, let's do this, and that's really how it kind of started. The band formed, and we really were on. There was a whole wave of bands at the time, like TSOL and Adolescence and Agent Orange, and I mean at the time the Misfits were just starting, and Social Distortion and Bad Religion, and some of these bands are bigger now than ever.
Oh yeah.
And the thing is that we all used to play together when we were all just kids, and we, you play and you have all those bands on a bill, and we'd go anywhere.
Right.
Like, wow, show in San Diego, let's go. So I mean, one of the things with us is that we wanted to travel, and we still do. So one of the things that we love to do is get out on the road and travel, and just been to Europe 4 times in the last 5 years.
Now, I was watching the documentary. You're probably traveling a little bit better than you were back then.
In some cases, if my wife's listening, she'll probably disagree. We generally, you want to be a little more comfortable, but we don't have tour buses or any of that stuff.
Yeah.
The key is back then we'd all pile into our blue and white van and go anywhere. The key is that back then there really was no place, there was no way to go to play clubs when you play punk rock. So and I think you saw that in the documentary,
right.
that it was a series of people you talked to. So the guys in Black Flag were our friends. They'd be like, oh, when you go here, call these people. And you had a network of the Circle Jerks, maybe Husker Du, maybe Black Flag, and Dead Kennedys maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And we'd all kind of talk and say, I was the kind of booker of the band at the time, and I was the one that cooked up all these ideas like, hey, let's go on the road, let's go out for a month. So, it was really fun, and especially when you're 20, 21, 22, 23.
Yeah.
Nothing like it.
That's it. That's where you can sleep anywhere and you wake up and you feel okay.
That's right.
It doesn't hurt as much as it does now.
Yeah, that's exactly. It's sleep underneath the American flag on the floor, the wood floor, and you get happy about it.
I love it. You're talking at the documentary where they would pull in somewhere and everybody else would hit a bar and hang out, and Kimm would be on a payphone calling for hours trying to find places to play.
Yeah. They would drop me out. You drop me off, because back then there was payphones. They didn't have cell phones back then. Let alone phone in the car or something that wasn't even heard of. So drop me off, and we get the network going.
Yeah.
And then there was a period of time where there were stolen credit phone cards that were going around. I think there's something in the documentary about that. I'll tell you, man. We used to. Then it was like, we're going everywhere, man. I'm calling everywhere. Let's go.
I call it till it doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, exactly. We call and call the guys at Black Flag. Hey, I got a new card number. Let's go.